What's good, family? Welcome back to Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. I am Jeff J. That is Chrissy B. We are here to recap the season 3 finale of Ghost. Divided we stand. No, we have to tap in post Memorial Day weekend and cover this. So shout out to everybody in the chat, gang. Lighting it up. Tapping in with us, Devin Mack. He's listening to this on the road going home from South Carolina. So we are the soundtrack to your road trip. Love to hear it. Diane, what's up? Roz, what's going on? Shout out to everybody tapping in with us live. Shout out to everybody who's listening to us on the podcast or on the replay, gang, as well. You already know the vibes. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram at Power After Hours. We're everywhere where you listen to podcasts. And we are on YouTube. Power After Hours on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. I need to see all the likes up in the chat. I need you to throw all your likes to us. Share this with a friend. You know y'all wanted to talk about this. All y'all that watched them damn leaks. All y'all that was on it before everybody else. This is the one. This is the place to discuss. This is what we're going to do. Let's start it off, man. Chrissy, tell me, what did you think about this season 3 finale?
Good God. I mean, that's what I thought. Good God. That's it. There's a lot going on. There was a lot of storylines, things tied up, new storylines brought to the forefront. Child, I can't keep up. There just was so much going on in this episode that there wasn't time to relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no. Like, oh, okay, let me have a snack. Ain't no snack. Okay? You gonna pay attention because it was a lot. I struggled to keep up. I had to watch it twice.
Yo, we finished watching the finale. At the end, I look at my wife and I'm like, the fuck?
You can't say nothing. It's like they have a moment of silence.
I haven't had a jaw-dropping moment in a minute, especially with Power, but with Ghost, this was like a throwback. For those of the people who like, I want that old Power feeling. I like it with this season, that season. This was one of my favorite seasons. Feel like it wasn't there. Anybody who had apprehensions about this series or this cast or whether or not this was gonna hit, this is, to me, and we'll talk about the season as a whole and everything as we go along. But this was one of the best episodes they've put out
by far.
Like they answered enough questions for me to where. Remember, if you've watched these and been listening to these previous podcasts, we had a bunch of questions and we didn't know whether or not they were going to be addressed. Oh, they addressed them, and they addressed them in one of the best ways they could have possibly done it. Something that I didn't see coming. I don't know if you saw it coming or the big twist that you saw coming, Chrissy.
Which one?
Right. Facts.
Like, which it was so one? Many.
That's the one. That's the one. Look, I'm so hyped. I can't even hear Chrissy right now.
Listen. Jeff's gonna say that's my fault. He gonna blame audio on me because he always blames audio.
No, we good.
I saw him pull that.
We good. Right. We good. Y'all saw me. I was a little hyped. Chat, you already know if I'm sounding wonky. Please let me know. I just said, I was so hyped. I unplugged this, but we still good. Mic game still proper. We all right.
A lot of twists, my guy.
Everybody relax.
There was a lot of twists and turns. I don't know when you say a lot of twists, which one? Because there was like so many different things I was like, yo, word. There was only one that did not surprise me. And you and I had discussed it earlier in the season. There's only one that did not surprise me that seemed to surprise a lot of other people. But yeah, we'll get into that.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out, Chad. Already know we're good. And Rainy, we know you're under the weather. Thank you for tapping in with us. We hope this can help you with your healing and, do everything that you need to do to get better, but this is the one. If we're going to need some laughter, you're going to need some drama. We are the ones that are going to help you as you get over that. So shout out to you. All right.
Where do you want to start?
I think we got to start at Tommy and Tariq. Right?
Tommy.
And the resolution of that arc, which was really, we want to see. Yeah, you can air quote it. Maybe you call it a resolution. Maybe we call it a truce.
I can call it a truce. Yeah.
A truce or a resolution or whatever have you. But let's start there with Tommy, Tariq, and Tasha, the three T's, right? The three T's saga, and how we got here, right? How we got here. So Tariq wakes up, as we know. He don't know where his mom is. His mom is missing. But what he do know is that Tommy was there when his mom was there, and Tommy and the mom wasn't there when they was woken up. Nobody could find him. So this man was ready for Tommy. Wanted to find this man. He's like, yo, I'm gonna find this dude. I'm gonna handle my business. This is how it's going down. And that scene when he rolled up Tommy's mom's, Kate Egan, looking for Tommy because he knows if anything, Tommy may not really deal with her, may not mess with her like that, but Kate Egan be knowing. She could have all the drug problems. Everything. She knows everything, even if she acts like she doesn't know anything, and he'll keep her at arm's length for these situations where information comes to his door. So, Chrissy, tell me what you thought about grown man Tariq rolling up on Kate Egan, the woman who's changed his diapers, who known him since he was a baby, and was ready to do what he had to do to send Tommy a message.
First of all, Kate ain't shook. I don't know what Kate, we all know she done been through a lot based on the little bits of stories that we've heard here and there. But Kate wasn't worried. She even said at one point, why don't you just take your hand off the gun? Like, it's not scaring me. Like, bruh, like she was still smoking her cigarette. Like, nothing that he was doing, as hard as Tariq was trying to look, she was like, bruh, like, I changed you when you were in diapers. Like, I have pictures of you in diapers. I'm not shook by this. And what I love about Kate is she can always find a way to make a serious moment lighthearted and just funny. Like, even when she's asking him, like, hey, do you want a drink? And he's like, I don't really drink like that. And she goes, oh, juice box? Like, girl, you didn't have to son him like that. Like,
right.
We know Tariq is a grown man. Like, you giving him juice boxes? But I just love that we always are going to get that Kate scene when it's Tommy that we need to find. Anybody that knows Tommy, knows that Kate is always going to have the drop on him, no matter what. He may leave. He may be dead, so to speak. And I don't think that's the last that we're going to see of Kate. I think she's going to end up at some point becoming a regular, because if you notice, there was moving boxes, a lot of moving boxes in that house. I think she's going to end up becoming somebody that we see on Force. So yeah, it wouldn't shock me if we see more of her. Because nobody questioned the fact that her whole house was packed up. Like, it was full of boxes.
Yeah. And Tariq don't care because Tariq is just looking for Tommy. So we notice it as the audience that, where you going, Kate? It look like you get ready to move.
Where is you leaving to?
Going to
Kate?
Chicago?
Like, I think so. I think she's going somewhere. And I think that because, like, for Tommy, to be dead, so to speak, in New York, and we know, based on if you watch Force, that the feds there have his picture. So it's only a matter of time before they figure out who he is and go after Kate. So I don't think it's the last we'll see of her. But I do love that at the same time, she lets Tariq know who gave the letter. Like, there was a letter from somebody that came by, somebody named Monique. They kept saying Monique, and he was like, Monet? And she was like, yeah, I guess.
Something with an M.
Yeah, nobody wanted to say it was Monet. And at that point, I was like, damn, Monet really be getting around like that. She drives a lot. Like, how is she getting from point A to Z and B and back in time to have family dinners? Like, how the days don't add up.
Yeah, I wonder what part of Queens Kate live in. Is she close to Monet? It might be on the other side.
What is happening? Like, how is all this happening in one place? Right. But I do love that it's people in that world from Power, OG Power. They don't take Tariq too seriously because they still look at him as Ghost's son. They look at him as a kid. And that was a resounding thing. And as we went through this episode, it wasn't just Kate who talked about the fact that he was still a kid, and even Tariq having to defend himself at certain points, saying like, look, I've been through things. But yeah, I just thought it was a really good conversation piece, and we got a little bit of a piece of a puzzle into how Tommy knew where Tasha was.
Right. Because this was a conversation that we've been having as to how do we know? And this was throughout the episode, it was solved for us because we were getting the clues. Because this was one of the first times where they kept us in the dark.
Yeah.
Right? Where usually we know what's going on and the characters don't. So we're watching the reveals from their perspectives and seeing them realize in the moment what's going on. But certain things were disregarded, and I would love to know if this was if this was blatant from the writing team, like was this intentional to divert us, or was it oversight, whatever the case may be, right? But we were saying with the letter that Monet got, Monet never mentioned an address. Diana never mentioned an address, right? Like an address or Tasha was never brought up. So how the hell did Tommy know where Tasha was, right? And Tariq had the same realization we did, that Sax sent a letter to 2-Bit, which means he probably sent a letter to every single person that was my enemy or my dad's enemy. So I got to protect my mom. And because Sax sent it to Tommy, I know that's who it was. Then Kate was like, okay, no, we didn't. We got this letter handed to us from somebody with an M name, with black woman with red hair, right? Woman with red hair dropped this letter off, and then of course she was like, "Yo, Tommy, I know where Tasha is. I have an address." And Tommy was like, "Thanks, ma." Yeah. Click.
Thanks,
click.
Ma.
Thanks,
Thank you, Ma. You know
thanks,
how
Ma.
talks to her. Ma.
Ma. Click. Ma, what the fuck do you want? What do you want? I got business to take care of. Like, Tommy, I got an address from Tasha. And he's like,
take care of me, Tommy.
He's like, wait, what the fuck? What the fuck did you just say? What the fuck did you just say? Whose address do you have? Send me that address, right? What is the address? And then thanks, Ma. Click. Right? So that's what Tariq thought. But then when Kate cleared it up, Tariq realizes, oh shit, Monet knew. He sent it to Monet, and Monet tried to get Tommy to kill my mom. Like, this is wild. So this goes into the other, where we didn't know a plot hole or we didn't know if it wasn't brought up. The fact of who knew that Tommy was alive. And we realized
you thought it was
at the end, right. I thought Sax sent it to him too, but then I was like, well, how did he know? Because they staged his death, right? Mm-hmm. But then I went back and I looked up season 1 and all that, and I realized, yes, Tariq was the one who put the plan. I had to refresh, of course. Tariq was the one to put the plan in motion with the dental work and all of that to
Tasha knew as well.
Fake Tommy's death. Mm-hmm. So they all knew. And then Monet knew because all of that happened before the scene at the graveyard where Tommy was still trying to get Tasha because, okay, cool, you helped me cover up my identity, and now I'm as far as New York goes, I'm dead, but I'm still gonna kill your moms. Yeah. And that's when Tariq and Monet set Tommy up so that they would be protected. And of course, Tariq set his mom up to go into witness protection, and she didn't even know because they were going to try to go on the run by themselves, right? So we come back to this time now. Now Tariq is like, okay, Tommy must have my mom, and Monet is the one that sent Tommy to kill my mom. So now I'm gonna get her. That's when we get another revelation that Monet's been talking to Noma. And has pretty much bullied her way into the drug org. Although Noma knows, hey, your kids do not fuck with you anymore.
all.
They don't like you. And oh, by the way, Monet, how can I trust you when you killed my fiance that you were about to marry too? And Monet basically is like, I love my kids. I'll do anything to protect them. I don't give a fuck about making no more. He gone. You care about who killed them. Whatever. Blame it on me, whatever. But I'm just trying to get it done. You can't move this product. I can get them in order. And nobody, they have that bond. They have the motherly bond and the woman scorn bond. So she says, okay, roll with it. And everybody comes together is like, what the fuck? The kids got to listen to her. Tariq got to listen to her. Then they have their first confrontation where Monet is ready to blast this dude, thinking that Tariq told the kids. It's crazy that both of these things, they both have false information. She thinks Tariq ratted on her about killing Lorenzo, and Tariq thinks that Monet tried to get his mom killed. And they both are like, I don't know what you're talking about, but they both be lying. So there's reason not to believe either or. And before Tariq can do something to Monet, Obi, the man who got his face sliced just for having side chatter with Tariq, he gets his face cut as a side to Noma and Monet. Like, I will not tolerate any type of deception. Because he even thought she was going to kill him. He's like, yo, I've been loyal to you my whole life. He's like, that's why you're only getting this.
Yeah.
Don't do it again.
Insane that you can just slice somebody like that. He didn't even flinch. I'm sorry. Like, you just got sliced pretty much through the eye and down your face. Right. You don't flinch. Like, I guess it's just normal for his people to take it. I don't know. Like, when you just gonna sit
That's
there.
insane.
Like, you're not gonna cry? Ain't no tear. Well, maybe he ain't no tear.
It's normal for his people to take it. What you think? You think our Nigerian brothers are just they just eat face lashes?
Obi built different. Like, I don't understand. Like, bro, you gonna sit there? You ain't gonna say nothing.
What?
You feel nothing? Like, you just gonna get like sha down your eye? Is it because the tears couldn't come out because your eye got sliced? I don't understand.
He ate that shit.
He ate it. Like, I don't understand it. I had to stop it and be like, what, did he even move when she did it? He didn't flinch. He didn't. Obi he's a real one.
Yeah. And he has that connection with Tariq as well, because Tariq is trying to get the green card. So that connection is also going to loom larger towards the end of the episode. But for now, he stops her. He stops because Tariq, right? Yeah. Tariq was about to blast Monet there, like, yo, I'm ending this. And Obi stops him and basically tells him, yo, I bought you some more time. Don't do this. Like, tries to be smarter than that. Tries to dissuade him to chill on that and please get him those green cards because he bought him that extra time in order to
he had already done the green cards. Tate had already done it. He thanked him for it outside. He was like, I just want you to know the green cards went through. That was the first thing he said to him after he stopped them. So the green cards went through. Tariq did his job. Tate actually did that part. Tate did a lot of things too, but he did that. And
he tanked a lot of shit, but he got the green cards though.
Got the damn green cards. He can do a lot of stupid things, but the one thing that I like is that you can kind of see the two of them almost forming a bond through what they're going through, and we're not at that point yet. But I do love how Obi stops him and tells him, be smarter, because this is also something that happens throughout the entire episode. Multiple people were telling Tariq, be smart, be smarter. And if you recall, through all these seasons, Tariq has always said, I'm smarter than my dad. My dad made mistakes. I'm smarter. I've learned from his mistakes, but he is allowing this one thing to get him so emotional that he's making mad mistakes. Like, he's willing to risk and start a war because of something that he hasn't even done his investigation on to get full facts on, which is wild to me. So that was like a resounding thing throughout the entire episode. I think they literally said, every person said, you need to be smarter. Like, and he just still, it wouldn't get in his head. He was acting a lot like his father through much of this episode.
There are ways in which Tariq is planned out. Like, he never let love really cloud his judgment like his father did, but at the same time, he makes the same type of mistakes just in a different way. He can't see it because in his mind, he's the new improved Ghost.
Correct.
He's something better. But throughout, like you said, everybody has cautioned him to be smarter, be smarter, be smarter, be smarter. The first was Obi. And mind you, Tariq heard him, but didn't really hear him because he was still going to go after Monet if he didn't see Tommy and Tommy says to follow him. Then they have the conversation, right? And I think this is one of the most pivotal conversations we've had in this series.
Yeah.
We have these moments like when Tariq screamed on Ghost, teach me the fucking game, Ghost, right? Remember that? Like these type of moments. This was another moment where Tariq can get the answers from Tommy and they have a conversation about what's going on. So first off, another revelation that we find out what actually happened in the house. And we kind of, majority of the people, we figured out what it was. And it was true. Tommy lets him know, your mom knocked him. He knocked her, Tariq out. Tasha knocked Tariq out and basically saved Tommy's life and let him know, like, how you gonna shoot me? How you gonna shoot me? And she had the gun. She finally got the gun that was hidden under the table.
Yep.
Right. And she knocks out Tariq. She gun butts him. And he's like, yo, you gonna kill me after I just saved your life? This dude was really about to like kill you and mess everything up. And then you see, it's almost like when Tommy has the realization that she had the drop on him.
Yeah, she could have.
And passed it up. That's when he goes into like, this is when we've seen old Tommy. Yeah. We saw the Tommy before the beef where he's telling him, he's instructing her on how to move Tariq's body so that he'll breathe, so that he's just knocked out.
It's
and
like
then they
have clicks in his brain.
Right.
It was almost like it was a click. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, he lost all the like anger and animosity. Yeah. He just went into like OG Tommy mode. And then you speak on it, Chrissy. They had the conversation about family, what happened, and how they're gonna move forward.
Yeah, I love this conversation between Tommy and Tasha because I think it's one that we've been waiting to see for a while. Like through the series of OG Power, you saw how close they were. Tommy and Tasha, they used to take those rides in the car where they would just talk, and he would, he literally looked at her like his sister. Like, he would tell her everything. I think Tasha might be the only person that actually knew and knows everything that Tommy has done. And so, to see them talking and him saying to her, like, yo, like, I just wish we could get in the car and smoke a fat one. Like, I've got so much that I want to tell you. Like, I got a brother and he has a son. Can you believe I'm Uncle Tommy now? Like,
for
real, right? Like, not this dude that just tried to kill me on the floor. But it's crazy to see how he was able, after she lets him know about Keisha, because he's still angry. He really did love her. But at the end of the day, Keisha was going to rat. Like, she was going to tell the feds. Like, it's not even an option. Like, she was going to do it. We all knew she was going to do it. She had the suitcase to do it. And Tasha showed up and had to tell her and end her life, So that's sad, and it's something that Tommy has to come to the realization with. But to see him click and say, help her move Tariq and them have that conversation, like, let's just dead it. Like, we have a truce. There's no reason for us to keep going after each other. Like, we are family. We're the only two left. Like, they are, and that's crazy. We started this show with so many characters in OG Power, and Tasha and Tommy really are the only two adults that started the show left. And so that's wild. And I think it was good to see them come together. It's been a long time coming because I'm tired of the beef. At some point it had to end, like I got tired of it. I'm like, Tommy, you can only chase her for so much. Like, you got things to do in Chicago, okay? Facts. Like, let's chill. It just felt good to see them squash it and move forward. But I do believe that that's gonna be something that Tasha, we may see her come back more, but she just needs to talk more sense into Tariq. But it was just good to see them together and having that moment where they're laughing, when he's telling her about being an uncle. It just felt really good to see. It almost felt like we were watching OG Power again. And so I just love watching that.
Yeah. And they came to the understanding, and this is like a parallel with Tommy and with Effie, right? You do what the game dictates you do. Like Tom Thibodeau, coach of the Knicks, he has a phrase that one of his isms, and he says, the game tells you what to do, right? Absolutely. And this game tells you what to do when you need to do it, and it's nothing personal, it's just business, right? Mm-hmm. And once Tasha told Tommy, Keisha, this is my best friend. You think I wanted to do it? She was going to snitch on you. Because remember, she was signing them papers. Like, it was going to happen. Like, even she was 50-50, but it was enough that they couldn't allow her to leave. No matter what, no matter how they put her in that position to begin with, they know the rules of the game. And that's why she did what she did. And Tommy's lost a lot of lovers in his life, and he was even more fed up that Tasha would take that away from him, take that love away from him in the way that she did. So you could totally understand that. But once they came to that understanding, he said, Tasha took off, and I went on my way, and I wanted to let you know. And then he has that conversation, Chrissy said it, about smartening up. Yes, right. Smart. Obi has that first one. Then Tommy talks to him about smartening up, right? And he has the conversation. He has a similar conversation that he had with Ghost when Ghost was talking to him about truth and how this could be a legitimate business and doesn't want drugs running out of truth. Though remember, the whole time Tommy looked at truth as a laundering front. This isn't a legit business. You're not trying to leave this and become a mogul, are you? We're in the game. There's no happy ending, riding off into the sunset. We in the game until we not. This is what it is. And this is the wisdom that he's passing on to his nephew. He's like, yo, you trying to be a student, you trying to be a gangster. You can either be a civilian or a gangster. You can't be both. That it is a big bar. That's like a classic power line. Like, I could hear Tommy's speech to Tariq being an interlude for a rap album. Like, that's how real it was, right? Civilian or gangster, you can't be both. You got 1 foot in the game, 1 foot out of the game. Your dad tried to do it. He couldn't do it. You're trying to do it now. You need to make a choice, and you need to be smart, right? And Tariq is accepting of it. And I thought it was hilarious when he tried to ask him, like, yo, will you help me? You know the game. You told me smart. You would help me. And my man said, not my monkey, not my surface. Gave him both Drewski hands. This is your war, not mine. I'm dead in New York. I got my own business. I got my own business. And remember, once again, Tommy's the guy who discovered he has a half brother. He has a nephew. And he's trying to make his own life in Chicago, and low-key has his own enemies he's got to take care of. So he can't be coming to New York trying to burn it down and blow up his spot. Tariq, you be smart. I'm hopping on the I-95 or whatever. I'm out of here, bro. I got to go back to Chi-Town.
I love the scene of him driving away yet again. Like, it's like we've seen that classic scene of Tommy in his car just driving off, and it was good to see that. And, Tariq, for all intents and purposes, like, he just like, once he gets something in his brain, he can't seem to let it go. And it's just, you want to say that you're smarter than your father. And for Tommy to say, like, that's what got your father killed, knowing that the person who killed his father is standing right in front of him, that's crazy. Like, you want to sit here and act like you're smarter, but you essentially are doing the same thing. You are trying to be a student. You over here in class, and at the same time, you're dealing with one of the biggest drug dealers, Noma. Like, you can't choose both. You got to choose one. And it leaves it open for the next season as to how Tariq is going to take it. Is he going to choose a lane, or is he going to continue riding in the middle? Does he even have the option to choose a lane at this point? Because you so deep in, and as we're even moving further into this conversation, I think about, what the conversation he had with Braden, like, we're so deep in this. We are deep in, and that was never that wasn't the goal here, like for us to be here. So it's a lot going on, and it was a lot to take in. But I was hoping Tariq was going to make the right decision.
I mean, yeah. Funny enough, I don't know that Tariq made a wrong decision. I just think that he got outmaneuvered crazy in this episode. I think he made a series of wrong judgment calls that on the 20,000 foot view, you wouldn't think that it was a problem. But I think he underestimated a lot of different variables happening. And when we see how it broke down, I could totally understand getting caught off guard, right? But if you are smarter than your dad, because real talk, I feel like Ghost would have saw this coming.
And that was the conversation that he had with Tasha. And when he talked to his mom, she said Ghost was a lot of things, but he was not dumb. And we watched Ghost many times making dumb mistakes with Angie and doing a lot of things. And while he may have miscalculated how far his son would go in terms of taking that willing to put a bullet in him and kill him.
Right, which nobody saw.
Nobody saw that. And I think that Ghost, he still saw a lot. He was always ahead. He was even when we thought he was behind, the dude had a plan and he was ahead. And you watch this whole episode and you see Tariq allowing his emotions to make mistake after mistake, and you want to yell at him, see through the bullshit, like your dad would have seen through that bullshit, or at least had a plan in place in case he saw the bull. Like, he was too late to see the bullshit. Like, Ghost always had a plan. The dude was ready. And Tariq is just, we watched him in this episode make mistake after mistake, and unfortunately it bit him in the ass.
100%.
What can you do?
Yeah, because all of his mistakes throughout the season have come back to bite him, right? You think about Weston Holdings. Oof. You put your trust fund in a Ponzi scheme, and as he was talking to Tasha in that scene, you realize he doesn't have the golden parachute get out of the game free card. He's literally in a worse position now than he was prior to the start of the series. He's in a worse position now, right? And that's another mistake that he made, because he should have just left the shit. And I understand that you see this kid, he has a hedge fund or an investment firm with his parents. You make some extra money, you build up the money, and then you take it out. It sounds good if it's not a fucking Ponzi scheme. It's a great, he could have put that money in. Sometimes Fidelity can help. Sometimes sometimes Wells Fargo or whatever bank,
YouTube.
Right. Yeah, you about to get flooded with those ads or whatnot. But sometimes a money market or a broker or somebody like that can help. And he made that mistake that kind of put him in the position. The second mistake that he made was
Before you go to the second mistake, I have a question for you. I do. Can you answer to me how he had the right to put his money somewhere if it wasn't technically his? Did I miss that during the season where the attorney gave him the right? Because I thought that attorney was the one that was in control, right, of his trust. So how was he allowed to put his trust inside? And if you know in the comments, please, I don't know if I missed it, but I'm just trying to figure out, if the money isn't technically yours, how can you put it somewhere without the attorney saying, all right, let's move it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that had me confused this whole season. And I meant to ask it last week, but I just don't understand how Tariq was able to move that money into Weston Holdings.
Right. That's a great question and a great what if. I will say I don't believe that it happened, and you know our live chat fam that are like the fact checkers and are tapped in just like all the y'all are tapped in.
Jaleel.
You know, you'll definitely bring it in. Leave that man. That man has a victory. Jaleel, don't come in. Jaleel, relax. Okay, you ride it high. Don't get dragged back down, because if I start Googling, the block button is still available for Jaleel. But yeah, but like it didn't. If I didn't, I don't believe it happened on screen. So Daniel Warren, who's Jeffrey Owens from Cosby Show, who got Elvin from Jeffrey Owens, who was Elvin on the Cosby Show, who's Daniel Warren, who's a trust fund attorney. What I assume is he convinced him to move that money for him. He couldn't do it, but it would have had to be him, and that would have happened on screen. That's a great question to ask the writers or any of the characters. Like, how did that happen? Because to my knowledge, it didn't happen. The same way how Love Jones in the chat is mentioning it now. Remember the deal that he was making with RSJ to sell the Queen's Child project? Because that was part of his trust, and he was looking for someone to sell, and he kind of made that deal. He said he could probably convince his trust person to sell it if he was going to receive a profit on it. So probably in that discussion, he also got him to move the money into Weston Holdings, right? That to me is like one of those things, one of those plot points that could have had a scene that got cut, right? Like you show it, and then the directors and the producers see it, and then they ultimately decide it's not really additive to the story that they're trying to tell, and it might be extra, so you might have cut that. But then again, you're on Stars, you're on premium TV, you should use the extra time. I do think that was a little murky, but he handled it with like lines about him being able to have those conversations.
Okay.
I kind of look at Daniel Warren sideways, because you put all this money in a holding firm, knowing the volatility, even if they were who they said they were, right? That might have been something to veto. But he had already built up whatever rapport with Tariq from trying to get Yaz and do all of that, that he probably was like, oh, you work with this rich white kid is your man's, and his family is rich off of this investment firm. It makes sense. Like, it makes sense, because you wouldn't think in the age of Madoff that somebody is going that rogue again. But history repeats itself over and over and over and over again. So, you know, once again, the mistake, Tariq is not. You should not take financial advice from Tariq St. Patrick. All right, you should not take financial advice from Tariq St. Patrick
or Brayden.
Or I mean, let's talk about it.
I just wanted to ask, because I wasn't sure if that was something I missed, because it was running through my brain ever since they brought it up, and I'm like, how do you lose money you never had? Like, but continue.
No. You definitely got it right. But you talk about it, the theme of be smart amongst his mistakes, and a lot of Tariq's mistakes are coming back to bite him, right? Yeah. The second one is underestimating all the women that was in his life, right? Where he thought he had a certain amount of control, and he makes decisions in other people's best interests, like Ghost, makes decisions in other people's best interests, and doesn't account for the pushback that he might receive, or thinks that he can yada, 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 the pushback away and figure out a way to like Tariq his way out of it. But we got to the point where one of the conversations, that conversation with Monet, we go back to the conversation with Monet, where she told him, yo, you got to control your bitches, right? Yeah. Like, that's basically like that. Like, your chicks are about to tank this whole thing. You need to go control it. And control is what Tariq attempted
because it didn't work. It didn't work.
Let me get to a couple of these super chats before we move on to that conversation. Wandering Sage Wandering Sage has one. Thank you so much, Wandering Sage. Man, this was a lot to unpack. LOL. Special shout out to Booty Scratcher Obi from the Jabari Nation. He was getting on my nerves with his anti-American sentiment, but he turned out to be a good guy. Wandering Sage was getting triggered, boy, from Obi with all the slander. All the slander for Tariq and the American stuff. My man came from Memorial Day and was ready to show his flag. He was revealing the flag like Superman came out. I feel you, Sage. I feel you. But yeah, I think Obi looked at them more so as like kids. Like, how are these kids going to move this product? But you know what? Noma believes in them. Cool. I'll be happy to shoot them all in the head when they mess up, because this is what I do. He's that cold. He's that calculated. Yeah. So that's how that goes. Let's see. I'll drop this one from Toxic Key. Thank you so much. It's truly Braden's fault. Tariq lost his trust. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's 50-50 because I don't know. I don't invest in, I don't use every investment tip friends give me.
That's facts.
So it's at best 50-50 for Tariq, because I could understand if he puts his trust in somebody who it's like, yo, it's literally their family business. How could this collapse? Once again, you don't see it happening, right? You don't see it happening. But when it happens, of course, us with the benefit of hindsight can say, why did you vet this? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Bray didn't even know until he found the cookbooks. Right? He didn't know until he found the cookbooks. I never
expected that. I never expect. They threw that. That was
a great plot twist.
My God. That was a great plot twist. I never saw that happening. And for them to throw that in there, and it just added to the suspense of the season, because there were so many things that went on in the season as we were going into Weston Holdings. All cap, no frap, all cap.
All frap, no cap.
Yeah, that business. And then you've got, Uncle
Which
Lucas.
Ironically was all cap because it was a drug.
It was all cap. Oh my God. No, not a bad dad joke already.
No, it's not a dad joke. I said ironically it was all cap. You could dad joke me, whatever. Y'all was laughing. Y'all laughing.
We laughed?
Put a laughing emoji in the chat if my joke was above Dak joke quality, yo. I wanna see this, but continue. I'll wait to see the laughs rolling.
You're gonna be waiting all night. So yes, yeah, Weston Holdings there was a lot going on. We had a whole thing, and to see the fall from grace for Braden's family, it's just like, as I was watching this episode, I was like, damn, they all went from such a place of we are better than to looking. The mom might be the only one who still looks like she got money, but the rest of them, good God, like they just look so depressed. The dad got clothes half on. Like Braden's family has a fall from grace if I ain't never seen one. It was bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
No matter what way you look at it, it's bad.
Yeah. It definitely was.
Monet lost money too. Let's not forget.
I mean, Hurricane got it back with them heirlooms and them they got
a down payment.
Right. And she was like, I know one of these paintings worth. Yo, I love that Kane took Homeboy's watch and he was like, bro, this is a family heirloom. Tristan, what is his name? Trace. He was like, yo, bro, this is a family heirloom. He was like, pull out a mother. You think I care about an heirloom? You better. I'm gonna air out this room if you don't give me that heirloom.
And the way he handed it over, and they didn't even show Trace's face. They just showed his hand handing the thing over. I died because Trace knows that what Kane is about. He knows because he done had his run-ins with Kane throughout this show. So he knows Kane will fuck him up. So you might want to hand over that damn watch. And the way that Kane just spent the entire episode flaunting that watch had me sick. And it just was wild to me that you could just walk up in their house and be like, yo, this painting looks good. Like, I'll take it, But they don't. Right. What do they have? They have literally nothing now. Their accounts are frozen.
Yep. But they'll be all right. They're rich. They'll be all right.
They're rich.
So yeah, let's talk about Effie in prison, right? Monet tells him like, yo, you gotta control your chicks and whatnot. So that's because Effie's in prison and they're still trying to get her to flip. Cause now the last play that Jenny Sullivan, and it's funny that the DA's office and the New York, the Southern District catches so many L's to the St. Patrick organization, right? They once again are hinging their whole case on one person to do something, right? It usually goes down like this, and they get burned. And now it's Effie. Effie gives the testimony. I mean, Lauren gives the testimony about Effie. They get her basically on that attempted murder charge, try to get Effie to flip on the organization, then they get their RICO, right? But at this point, Monet ain't all too convinced that Effie is going to hold it down. And Kane, and you Keffy lovers, right? Kane tries to say, yo, I got this, Monet, you know what I'm saying? And she looking at him like, you pussy whipped. Yeah. You don't got nothing. I got this. And he's sick. He's sick because he knows that she's right.
Yeah, and his eyes. But he didn't have the. What I love about Kane is like he wasn't gonna fight it because he knew. He was like, yeah, well, all right, well, she's right. You know?
Exactly.
Like, all you can do is say, oh shit, because like. Exactly.
Right, like he's just like, yo, heard you. So what happens? We get another classic prison scene, jail scene, right? With Effie. Effie goes in, and if y'all noticed, who was the guard? The same guard that had Tasha in hell, right? So we know she's a dirty card. You know she's a dirty guard at this point. Super dirty. So Effie's asking why she being moved to a new cell. Don't ask no questions. Puts her in there, of course. Before it started getting active, she goes in, has the towels, and sees a burner phone. It felt just like Tasha all over again.
It was classic.
So she flips the phone and sees the message. Watch your back. Watch your back. And you know, it was Cade. Cade sent her a lifeline and right on time because they sent that inmate in there with the shiv. And Effie had to get into her John Wick mode and escape. They fighting and whatnot. She finally survives. And of course, the guard is gonna tell her, "Oh, you got to fight." Like like she's surprised that she's here, right? So this is when we get the meeting between Effie and Tariq, right? Mind you, right after she had to fight for her life, we get that meeting for Effie and Tariq, where Effie tries to convince Tariq, Tariq tries to convince Effie. Like, I got this covered. I got a plan. You got to hold it down.
Let me tell you something. Effie, she is somebody that I can honestly say is going to go for herself before anybody else. She's just like, listen, if you want something from me, I need something from you. Tariq goes in there and he wants the drop on Noma. He wants to know because, Effie and him, when they were dating and they was close, ends up finding out Noma does have a child, but she doesn't want to give him the information that she does know because she knows Tariq don't give a shit about her no more. Like they really, she broke his trust. And That's one thing I will say in this show. You break somebody's trust, it is really hard to get it back if you're still alive after, they want to kill you. So it is like Effie's literally trying to get him to do whatever it is. Like, you need to get me out of here. I want out of here. You get that done. I got you. Like, I just need you to get me out of here. And we've seen Tariq make a lot of moves, but the way that all of their brains work to make so many different things happen just for one person to get out of jail is crazy. All of the steps that had to take place for her to get out. If you think about it, it's insane. It literally is crazy. It's not normal. Like, you got to get somebody to flip on the stand. You got to move mountains. And it's, what got me is the fact that Effie really thought she was going to get bond.
Right.
Like, for her to think that I got money saved. Like, I'll get out of here. I'll get by. Girl, you ain't going nowhere, baby. You are in. This is a RICO. You are in. You tried to murder somebody. You're stuck. Okay. But I love that Tariq always makes promises. And if he does promise you something, he keeps it. He does his damnedest to do what he's got to do so that he can get what he needs out of the situation.
Facts. And what Effie needed was guaranteed that she was going to get out. Because, Tariq has this play with Noma's daughter as a way to get them out. And he says he needs that information. Remember, this is the same one way that Monet and Davis are on the same page is Davis has broken bad. Like, Davis is so despondent over what happened with his brother. He's telling Tariq, Effie got to go. Lauren got to go. And, Tariq is looking at him like, yo, dog, you a lawyer. I know you a gangster, but what the hell? Like, I understand everything that happened, but you're not supposed to be the one telling me to do all of this. I understand the game is the game, but what the hell? Like, you got, like, if I'm telling you you're wildin', you know you're wildin'. You know you're wildin'. And Tariq had to tell him to relax and tell him, you got to handle Tate. Because Tate is the one that blew up the whole Weston thing. Yeah. So we need to figure out a way to get him back in the graces, right? So not only that, he knew that using the Noma card, the Noma's daughter card, would be the way to get them all out from under her thumb. But Effie's like, I'm not doing anything unless you get me out of here, Tariq. I'm not telling you anything unless I leave. They tried to kill me. Are you dumb? Are you dumb? I am not going anywhere.
To be shit on the podcast because all they go hear is.
Now I'm clapping on the side. That's why if I was here, listen, we can hear every syllable when women are clapping and talking at the same time. I'm sure the audio on the podcast will do that. But that's really where she was coming from. I don't want to hear it. Get me out. So Reek has the most elaborate plan.
It's worse.
But this was a clever plan. I ain't gonna lie. Like, this was a clever plan. If Lauren doesn't tell on the stand, they all get out. Everyone gets out. And this is the explanation. Life. She gets her life back.
Well, her and Effie are one and the same. I tell you that.
Why say that?
Because she was transactional too. She was like, listen, I got you. But their plan, Brayden, Tariq, and Kane, they all had this plan. And Kane really, when you give him an inch, he will take a mile. He took it too far. You know what I'm saying?
Too far.
Got her parents tied up. Like, Kane, what is you doing, bro? We didn't discuss that.
My man said just pictures. My man said, I'm gonna innovate. I'm gonna take your suggestion. I'm gonna go the extra mile because I feel like there can be an extra contribution. I'm just gonna sprinkle so much of my creativity because I feel like there's leeway. Like it's like
type shit.
Bro,
I got a video. It's live.
Yeah. Okay.
What's happening? Like,
Video her live. Video her live. And he wasn't even trying to OD. And I love the part where he tells Lauren to pull up. Lauren brings a knife just in case.
What's she finna do?
Brayden pulls up. Tariq pulls up. Cade pulls up. And she's like, all of y'all, like, what y'all trying to do to me? And Cade shows her the video, and they both are looking at Cade like, Cade, what the fuck? I didn't tell you to do all of that. And she's like, I don't listen to what did he call them? The undynamic duo. He was like, I don't listen to undynamic duo, so this is real. They told me to just do one thing. This is what I did. I'm going to do something to your family, do something bad if this comes back to us. Yeah. Then she gets a chance to confront Brayden. And Brayden is like, yo, I didn't know what Effie was going to do. I was trying to get you out. And Tariq, in that conversation, it's kind of like Lauren saw everything that Jenny Sullivan was telling her about who they were. Like, even she comes to the realization like, yo, this is really you. Like, this is really you. Like, you really are this killer that they're talking about. And he's kind of like, yo, I'm just trying to get my life back. Everybody wants to get their life back. This is how we can do it. We just want to make sure you drop the case and we all can go back to our lives. Nobody's going to even care about you and your family anymore because there's no leverage. There's nothing like you won't be able to come back from this. Nobody was like, like nobody nobody will come back to you or try to get you as a witness because they're going to think that you're burned, right? So her final act was talking with Jenny and kept it real in that meeting with Jenny. Like, Lauren is tired of being a pawn in everybody else's game. And she wants to start making those power moves herself. As he said, she's way smarter than a lot of people give her credit for. Because keep it real, she might have book smarts, but I think she has actual applicable intelligence, like real world intelligence too, because she sees what's happening. And she realized Jenny ain't all this altruistic figure that's trying to get justice and trying to save her. There's an ulterior motive. She speaks about it with Jenny. Yo, I know this is all. Do you don't give a fuck about me? This is all to take Reek down. Yeah. Tariq and whatever you think he has going on, right? Like, and Jenny pretty much admits it by but still tries to like convince her, oh, but I'm trying to help you too. But she sees it. So now Lauren has a decision. And she tells Jenny, Chrissy, before I get on the stand, I want to talk to Effie myself. And Jenny's like, excuse me?
Huh? Light skin agenda meeting. Light skins. Please. Come on.
Let's go. Crazy. You are insane.
Literally, they could be sisters. Literally.
You are insane.
Just saying. It's a meeting of the light skins. So yeah, I do want to say Lauren with the knife was fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. What were you gonna do? And the fact that they made it an issue for her to come back and grab the knife and like, girl, what is you finna do? Like, but give her credit. I do agree with you that she is. She's had a lot of time to think. She's been in that house for months. She had no internet, no shit to do. So she's had a lot of time to think, and you going through a lot. She went through a lot. Like, you got, like, she almost died. So it's a lot on a person. She's still having those dreams, if you remember. So, she's basically saying, like, I want to take control of my life at this point. Let me make a decision for myself. I want to see Lauren. I want to find out, if she really, like, what was the plan? Like, who ordered you to do what went down? And I think at the end of it, they both, Lauren's situation, while I think she wanted to come in real heavy, a little bit of it had to do with the fact of Tariq, right? Like, who won Tariq? Like, who wanted Tariq? But I did like that she did seem to get just enough answers for her, she wanted reassurance that Effie wasn't going to come after her family. And these are things that you need to see a person, I guess, to get those type of reassurances. I need to look you in your eye and make sure you're not going to kill my family and me. Mm-hmm. So I just like that they were able to have that conversation. But what ends up coming from it, I do wonder how that is going to play into future seasons, because you can sit there and lie on the stand, right? You can go and you can, and Jenny Sullivan, for all intents and purposes, she's fucked up all season. Since last season, honestly, when she originally lied to Lauren, with the other teacher, when they originally got her to wear the watch, it's all been lies. So, for her to get on that stand and say, you made me do this, you made me do that, it almost was like payback for everything that Jenny has done to her. And I'm not saying perjure yourself, but if somebody really does take advantage of you in that way, yes, Tariq and them may have done what they did to Lauren, but Jenny was doing to her under the guise of the law. And to me, that's bullshit. You were doing this, like she said, because you lost your boyfriend, you upset, you doing all this, and it's never going to work out for you. So she ends up burning the RICO. She burns the entire case. And I understand that. You want to be with your family. You want to go. You want to live your life. I personally would have done the same thing. Personally.
I think Lauren made the right decision. I think she made the right decision because your whole goal is self-preservation. For you, self-preservation and your family's safety. I think that meeting with Effie, where Effie basically let her know, I don't think about you, I don't care about you. It literally was a part of the game. Like I have nothing else against you. Like, but if you send me up, I will have all the smoke against you, and this shoot will not end. Right? You look at it from a grand scheme, and you think about how we move as Black people in a day-to-day life, living in certain environments, right? We are aware of all the systemic issues and how it's contributed to our communities and how it may have shaped how we grew up and the type of person we are. We're not out here informing authorities about everything that's going on. And within those ecosystems, and it helps inform the way we move in life, right?
Yeah.
We're not, if unintentional smoke finds us, our goal is to fan the smoke away so that we are able to breathe, right? It's to eliminate the smoke however we need to eliminate the smoke, especially if you are not a part of that life, right? You weigh the pros and cons, and you're like, okay, if I rat on Effie, basically, if I identify Effie and this gets sent to a grand jury, and Jenny's whole goal is to take down whatever Tariq and the Tejadas got going on, who's to say Effie won't get immunity?
Child.
Effie can get immunity, be good, and then they're both out on the street. I'm not going to be safe because the goal was never me. I am just, once again, a pawn that you will willingly sacrifice. If Jenny was willing to let Sax die.
Sax.
Because let's keep it real. That blood is on her hands. A dude who's been involved. A dude who's been involved with this family for all this time and has seen everyone that he's been associated with either die, lose their job, or leave.
And he told you to stop. Told
them from the grave, and even told before, hey, I need I cannot go back out there. I'm not going to make it. If her negligence and her apathy was going to let Sax die, what the hell do you think is going to happen to Lauren? Absolutely. What do you think is going to happen to Lauren? So I think Lauren saw the board, spoke to Kate, like, Kate is a wild boy. Effie will kill you for business purposes. I think Tariq loves me, but he's at best
wild card.
At best, knows too many killers and is involved in too many stuff where if you're in his atmosphere, the gravity may pull you into oblivion. And Brayden is white, so he's good. He's white and rich. So no matter what, this dude stood on a stand, admitted to a drug ring, and is not in jail. Is not in jail.
Think about that part.
So he's good. So Lauren looked at all of this and said, you know what? She coerced me. This Miss Sullivan, I woke up and she told me this is what it was. And I feared for I just want to be back with my family. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Burnt the case, burnt the RICO, everything done off. And Lauren is able to reunite with her family. Don't even contact Tariq anymore. We going back to wherever we going back to, and I'm good. And in that move, Lauren insulated herself from anything going on in the company, because now that she's gone, nobody has to worry about her anymore. So in that essence, in the history of this show, she's one of the smartest characters because she made the calculation that was right for all parties, but more so herself and her family. She probably didn't want to help any of them because it was just too fucked up, but she helped herself.
For sure.
She helped herself, right?
Yeah.
She helped herself. And probably somewhere she believes, yeah, Tariq probably loves me. He probably did all this and just got caught up in some shit, but I can't, she probably gonna call the corny dude.
For myself. Like,
she probably gonna call that corny dude back.
Absolutely.
That went to Maryland. Like, yo,
because you gotta remember, at the end of the day, Lauren's family got money. They got you up.
Right.
They got money. So it's not like they're, she's not hurting in this situation. She's gonna leave. She's gonna be with her family. She's straight. She made the best decision, like you said, for all parties involved, but mainly herself. And for her to throw away that phone at the end and eliminate all contact with that side of things, she's smart. Because at any point, if you align yourself with Tariq, you could end up in a situation like how Noma did, where she put pictures out of all y'all people that's in your life that means something. You can't take that risk with Tariq. Tariq is damaged. As much as we can sit here and say all these things, you are around him, your life is in jeopardy. It just doesn't matter. And there were so many twists in this episode to the point where I was like, the people I thought were the bad ones weren't even the bad ones anymore. I was like, well, goddamn.
Yeah, at this point, shout out to her. Shout out to Kiki for getting out of Dodge, seeing what it was, and was like, yo, you know what? You remember that scene with her and Brayden where she's telling Brayden, your uncle doesn't give up like that. That suicide note don't sound like him. Committing suicide don't sound like him. And basically, implied, you killed your uncle. You killing uncles out here, and I got caught up in the policy. You know what? I'm taking my black ass home. Because this is not, one way or another, this shit is not going to end up well for me. So I'm going to take my black ass home. So Kiki also, shout out to Kiki. Kiki saw the writing on the wall and read that motherfucker.
Black people.
And followed the instructions.
Just like Tamika. Bye-bye.
Yep. You got to follow the instructions.
But, I think the one thing that Kiki did say stuck with Brayden was that you don't have to do this. Like, you don't have, you can leave. Like, just go. Like, this doesn't have to be your life, and Brayden, for, whatever, he goes with the wind this whole season. I feel like he's just kind of floated around where whoever told him one thing, he went in the other direction. But, he does believe Kiki enough. And that's crazy because I thought Kiki was going to stay. But for her to leave really is the best decision because she got the fuck up out of Dodge because the uncle cleared her in his note. He basically said, I was the only one who had anything to do with it. Like, it is what it is. It's just fucked up. The whole thing is fucked up.
Yeah.
He got out.
She left. She's like, this New York shit crazy. Y'all wildin'. I'm out of here. I am out of here. So, let's get to it, man. These Tejada kids. Yo. break it down, Chrissy. Like, what did you feel about Drew and Diana's ultimate plan to get out from under Monet's power once they hit their breaking point? What did you think when you saw this whole plan come to fruition and how it ended up?
First of all, I never thought it was going to be those two. Let's just be clear here. Drew, I always thought was like the second hand, and Diana was just throwawayable, like nobody ever took her seriously. So to see them working together after that big scene where they confronted Monet about killing their poppy, and to see them concoct the plan and say, basically, let's just, Tariq, let's make Tariq the bad guy. And I'm just like, damn, Tariq can't do shit. For Tariq try to be normal, and they just put him in some shit. And I never thought that the plan would go like this, where you've got Diana, who is dressing up like her mother to drop off this note and play the role of Monet and drop it off to what's
Kate Egan.
I don't know why I was about to call her Karen. Y'all don't judge me. But don't do it.
If it's one thing Kate ain't, she's a Catherine. She ain't a Karen. Catherine, not Karen. Okay?
To see her put on that red wig and dress up as her mom and go there. And shout out to Sant, who is, I believe, in this chat, sending me a picture, and I did not catch it. There actually was like a ring, outside of Kate's door, and he sent me the picture of it. So they would have they captured Diana's face. That's coming back to her at some point, which is wild to me. I didn't catch it watching the show, but there was like a ring outside of Kate's door, which I'm sure would have been the camera that caught Diana dropping that off. So to concoct that plan, drop that off, and then you got Diana, who needs to convince Tariq, who needed no convincing, to kill her mother. I was really shocked that Tariq didn't see through that. Like, there were a lot of moments that I thought Tariq, and I get it, he's emotional, but I was just like, you don't see through that. Like,
well, to be fair, he did push back. Remember, she rolled up. She rolled up. It was like, yo, we got to get we got to get Monet out of here. Right. She was like, yo, it's too much. She's crazy. And he's like, yo, he did say, he tried to be smarter. He initially was like, yo, I don't want war. My family's already on the run. I don't want to have to be on the run forever, because he knows in his heart the consequences of going against your main connects. He probably heard the stories about what happened with Ghost and Lobos and freaking Milan and all these guys, right? Like, this is Mitchich and all these guys, right?
Man,
like, yo, dog, there are consequences. There are consequences. But then the thing about Tariq is, if you provide him with a plan that seems foolproof and if it's executed correctly and where he has involvement, so he knows I'm going to do my job, that's when he'll say, yo, you know what? I'm with it. And that's where it was. So it wasn't like blindly. He did think about it, but he ultimately accepted it.
Which is wild. And you know what? Even more wild is he didn't get the chance to go through with it. Like, it was just like he actually was ready to start the war and didn't even get a chance to do it. But for Diana and Drew to know how bullheaded Kane is, Kane has wanted to kill Tariq since he walked in the door the first day. Like, we all know that he's only been working with Tariq because it was in his best interest throughout these seasons.
Because his parents told him to play with him. Go play with Tariq. Go play with your cousin. Stop acting up. Go play. Y'all better not be fighting either.
And fetch him a juice box while you're at it. Like Kate. But yeah, like, to know that, you are willing to set your brother up where he can also be implicated in Tariq's murder, because the plan was to have Tariq come in, shoot at Diana and her mom, Monet, but kill Monet, and then for Diana to say, I saw who did it, it was Tariq. And then Kane would go and kill Tariq. So you don't even care enough about your brother. You're willing to sacrifice not only your mother, but your brother for this. And that's what really bothered me in the whole plan, was that you lost your father, but you're willing to also take out your mother and your brother at the same time. That's kind of fucked up. That's beyond fucked up, actually.
You know what it was? That mush set Drew off. That was the final straw. When Monet mushed him to kick him out the house, that's when he was like, fuck that, we gotta kill this bitch. But he was sick. So I loved how they showed the flashback and how it happened after that mush, after she kicked him out the house. Like, like a kid's, you argue with your parents, they scream on you, I'm leaving, I'm gonna run away. No. This man said, I am fed up with this woman. This hoe gotta go. Diana, talk to me. Like, yo, it's time. Like, it's time. And you gotta think about it. Them two they have similar experiences, right? They have this bond of being the neglected kid where they want to live a certain life, and the family has bared down on them and restricted them from doing what they want to do. They've been used. They've been neglected. People that they love have been cut out of their life or killed because of moves orchestrated by Monet and by the family. So they made that decision in the moment that they were going to take her out. And then Drew, and that's the thing. They also are two of the most underestimated characters because of who they are. They think Drew is too focused on love and all his dudes, and Diana just don't got the chops of the game. This was their way to show, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we're killers. We can do this. We just don't want to be that. But y'all want us to be that? Okay, we're going to calculate on you. And Drew, and once again, it's like the best laid plans, right? Best laid plans of mice and men. Drew, his plan was really dope. It's like, yo, we get. He's like, we get somebody to kill Monet. We pin it on them, and then we're out. We're good. We're done. We don't gotta do this no more. And then when he brings up Tariq, Diana did have some pushback. Like, nah, why are we gonna do that to Tariq? He's like, yo, it is what it is.
It's the game.
It's the game. It's the game.
You know what it was though? It was really Kane telling him, you ain't about to go and be somebody's NBA wife. Trophy wife. That shit is what sent me through the roof.
He said, you're not going to be an NBA housewife. I fucking yelled. Cade is ridiculous. Cade be having Cade slander. It's like piercing. It's like Thanos talking shit to you. That man said, you're not going to be a housewife. You're not going to be a freaking, you're not going to go to school and live. Oh, he said, you're not going to be with the sorority sisters, giggle with your sorority sisters and partying and shit. That shit is not for y'all. We're fucking drug dealers. Because remember, they tried at the last minute to loop Kane in. And he's like, you're not going to be a housewife. You're not going to be a sorority chick. We're drug dealers. This is a family. Yo, Monet won. Fuck it. Let's just make it happen. Let's just make it happen. Because Kane is such a soldier that he doesn't strategize. He's a weapon. Kane is a weapon, right? And he tried to be more, and he just looked at the board and said, you know what? I'm not even trying to do all this. She went to Noma. Like, I'm gonna move weight and get my piece of the pie and make all this bread anyway. Whoever's directing is directing. As long as they're not trying to kill me, I don't care, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what it is. That's what it is for him, right? And they tried last ditch, but they were like, okay, cool. Drew was like, yeah, Tariq kills Monet, Kane kills Tariq. We have all the plausible deniability because once those murders are gone, no one's ever going to tie it to us. It's foolproof. Like, I can't front. It was a foolproof plan. The two variables Drew and Diana did not see coming. The first one was Monet deciding to be a parent.
She wanted to be a mom. Yeah, she actually
she became mom.
What Diana needed to hear. She finally gave Diana what she needed to hear.
Right, and she became Mame, not Monet.
Exactly. And you know what? For once, I was like, good fucking job, Monet. I was like, finally, you're not calling your kids little nigga over here. Like, you are actually accepting the role of motherhood. Good mother effing job. But guess what? You're too late. This little speech is tired. It's too late. Had you done it the day before? Maybe. But honey, it was just too late. So you underestimated that she was going to be a parent, and you also underestimated that Tasha was going to be a parent. Okay?
Let's talk about it.
Two things. Because when she rolled up with that I said, oh shit. I was like, at first I was like, wait, Tariq didn't have a gun like that. Like, when did he get that gun? Like, I was confused for a second. But for Tasha to roll up and be a parent to Tariq, she's always going to protect him. We've seen her show up for him many times throughout OG Power and this show. But yeah, I was shocked to see that. I did not see that coming. I actually had forgot about Tasha by the time we got to that point in the show. So for her to show up and Tariq see it and be like, oh shit, like, oh wow, like this is new. Like, my mom is here. She want to show up for me too. I knew that the plan was fucked. I was like, this plan, there's no way it worked, right? But then you see that Monet is shot and she's not responsive. It's not like she's up and saying, I've been shot. She's laying down.
Not responsive.
We don't know. We
right.
don't know.
Well, she's in critical condition in the hospital. I thought it was ill. Like it's funny. Monet addressed everything we've been saying about her being a shitty parent in that one speech. And she said it. I was detached. After I had to give up Zeke, I felt like I had to, y'all were in the game, so I had to raise you a certain way. Remember how we were saying, yo, she talks to her kids like they random dudes on the street. And she said the reason why she had to do it was because she felt like she was raising them in the game that she didn't really choose, that Lorenzo wanted to do. So she felt like she had to stay detached. One, because it would make them the soldiers that they needed to be in order to game. And the other one is probably because she knows how the game goes and doesn't want to have too much of an emotional attachment to them, because what if they get killed out on the street? And then it's what? The game is the game. But she didn't want to look like that. She imagined her shortcomings. Like, I think the fact that Diana didn't want to talk to her, and she finally was able, like, I was thinking to myself, damn, did she go to the therapist this week and she had a breakthrough, and now all of a sudden she want to talk to her kids? And that hesitation is what gave Tasha the opportunity to get the drop. And Tasha was the variable no one would have saw coming. But ironically, Tasha's involvement fucked up Tariq.
Yeah.
Because if it looked like Diana was flip-flopping. Maybe she
was about to take her back in the house. She was flipping.
She was trying to take her back in the house, and she was going to probably make the call like, yo, let's not do it. I got some more information. But the minute it didn't get called off and they didn't know how it was, because Diana knew Tariq didn't do it. Because she knew it wasn't him, because they didn't have that. That wasn't the plan. And it was a drive-by. It was a totally different car. It was all of that. And Tasha, in trying to protect Tariq, it was like a dual unknown coming back to hit the characters in the ass. They didn't know about Tasha, so she didn't have a chance to call it off. And Tasha didn't know about the setup, so she didn't know what she was doing. She thought she was trying to eliminate the problem, and she knew once she dies, Tariq is gonna get out. But that wasn't it, and that ultimately ended up setting him up, right? And this conversation that he had with Tasha about the game, and he even told him, like, yo, this is a bold move that you're thinking about. Because once he told his mom that basically the trust fund is messed up, it's fucked up, like they're gone, and he's thinking, the only way I can get out of this is to take Noma's organization. That's the only way I can get my generational wealth back, is to find a way to infiltrate Noma's organization and take it over and get the money that I need to get. This dude, it's like he's playing New Game Plus on a video game, and he thinks he completed the game and thinks he has the power to go in. Like, I don't even think Ghost would have tried to go like that. Not at the rate that he was trying to do it. And even Tasha was just like, yo, if you feel like this is the way, cool, but just understand, this is like the end game for you right now. If you don't make this move correctly, it all can come falling down. And that is what we saw in the last scene, where he went to the warehouse to talk to Noma, to say, hey, I heard Monet got hit. You got me. I got the connects. I can run this organization. I do it. I could do it. But that's when he got the rude awakening that he had been outmaneuvered by everyone.
Everybody. Like, it's wild. Like, literally every single person. And, he's like, yo, Diana, speak up. Like, you didn't tell me to kill your mother. Like, nobody wants to talk about that. And it's just crazy that they look at him like, yo, it is what it is. And then out walks Kane, and it's like, well, it's over now. And here comes Tariq talking about some, wait, one more thing. And he says her daughter's name. And we didn't even talk about that. Effie ends up not only telling Tariq that, we already knew that Noma had a daughter, but what we didn't know is that the daughter is of age. She's actually in college at NYU. And Tariq says her name, and Noma basically tells him, like, yo, this is cute and all. And here walks out Effie, unbelievable, outsmarted. And this whole time he was angry at Effie, I kept saying to myself, that's going to bite him in the ass. Like, he's not playing that correctly, because at the very least, you should not have let her walk away from you in the way she did when he picked her up from jail. Tariq should have given her some type of hope, and he refused to do so because he was emotional as fuck. He played that card wrong, and he's going to have to look back and see, all the different ways in which he lost this. Like Diana played that card wrong. He played it wrong with Lauren. He played it wrong with Effie. Like all he had to do was give Effie a little bit of hope, and she was down, but he couldn't even do that. And to let her walk away, you don't think that she's gonna come back? You don't think that she's gonna make a move when you're telling her that she's street smart and she knows how to make moves? You know it, and you still let that bitch walk away. I was befuddled. I was like, really, Tariq? So when she walks out and says, like, I already told Noma that we knew about her daughter and where she was. And Noma lets him know, like, I've already moved her. She's gone. Like, there's nothing that you could say in this room right now that is going to stop Kane from killing you. And bruh.
So let me tap in on that real quick with Effie, right? The minute he let that woman walk, the minute he let Josefina walk from the jail to wherever she was gonna go, I ain't see no bus signs, I ain't see no subway. She was in the sticks and she found her way home. I'm like, yo, however she get home, she's going to be stewing.
The same way she got home when he left her from that ride at the place where
right. This is the second time you had Shorty thumb her way home, and you didn't think she was gonna go back. And even to the point where this is one of those situations where he fumbled off of his own principle, right? Yeah. He's like, yo, how could I trust you? How could I trust you? You went behind my back with this. You went behind my back with Cade, right? You did all of that. Like, yes, you are right, but you didn't think about the bigger picture. Okay, if I don't call this business's business and I don't let her in, or at least I don't drive her back, and you just have like a real conversation about it, right? What could she do to me? And he thought that she was so insignificant that he couldn't affect her. And that's where he was stupid. And that's where he finally realized in the moment he's not as smart as he thinks he is. And the problem is he kept getting out of those situations. Throughout the whole series, every time there's a gun pointed at him, he's been able to say or do the right thing to get out of it. He pulled up on the Tejadas pulled up. They have the gun. He's like, yeah, you try to kill Monet. And he's like, what? Come on, Diana, tell him the truth. He's like, no, it was you, Tariq. And then he realized that. Then he pulls out his last card with Noma and calls out the kid's name, and Effie comes out. So in that moment, he realized, I am fucked. Like, I'm completely fucked. Like, everybody turned on me. Obi can't help. Nobody else can help. Like, it's a wrap. And he basically saw everyone he's been working with, everybody who's had personal interactions with. Outside of Kane, nobody should have wanted to kill that man.
Nobody should have wanted.
But
why underestimate the person who checkmated your ass in the first time? Like, it's not like you don't know Effie is smart. She has already played your ass in the game of chess once. You have lost. You have lost to her already. And you don't even think to say to yourself, maybe I need to play this differently. Because Effie is smarter than we all give her credit for. The girl, yes, she uses the fact, and she will tell you she had a rough life. And that's one of the things that she also said to Lauren. She was like, I had it rough. You had a silver spoon in your mouth. Like, Effie has been through things that we still don't know. We don't know a lot about Effie, to be honest with you, minus the small conversations that she's had with Tariq. But we know enough about her to know she's the one you shouldn't fuck with. And I think that Tariq continues to underestimate her. And it blows my mind when she already has gotten you kicked out of school. Like, this girl is really smart. Like, and when is he going to realize that?
Yeah, there's no reason. After the choke incident, he shouldn't have been sleeping on her. Maybe it's because he was sleeping with her that he slept on her and he got caught out there, right? Ooh. Like, that's just what it is, man. Like, he let his own hubris and emotions cloud his judgment, and that's what he got in the end. Like, I swear that was like the scene in Trading Day when Judge Zell's like, you motherfuckers, like, all right. I'm gonna put cases on all these niggas.
That's exactly what it was, though. Like,
that was his King Kong moment.
What is you finna do? But it's like, and then the other biggest twist out of it is that while you said Obi couldn't help him, Obi
Obi
did help
did.
him.
Yup.
If it wasn't
Yup.
for Obi, he would be dead.
Because the
Like,
lights went out, and your man Braden, who wanted out of the game, Braden told Tariq, I'm not built for this. I'm not built for this. Y'all be killing y'all parents. Y'all be killing y'all uncles and then keep it moving. You just continuously live in this cycle. I just wanted to make my own money on my own. I didn't know who was going to come with all this shit. I did not see this when I was watching the 50 Cent videos. I did not see this when I saw Straight Outta Compton, bro. I didn't know it was for real. For real. I thought it was like an externship. He got a little too much of the black culture and was like, oh nah, I'm sorry, Rick, you're my man, but this ain't my game. I'm out. But he showed up when it counted and had the guns ablazing ready to save Tariq.
I love it. I love that he not only showed up shooting, he threw that gun to Tariq, and I thought that was just beautiful. It reminded me of Tommy and Ghost, and when they got in shootouts, and it was just really good to see them. I honestly think that Braden got the shot on Kane. I don't know.
It looked like that, yeah.
I watched it a few times, and it looks like you see Kane's head go back. I don't know what took place. And even as he's driving away, he's like, I know I got one of those motherfuckers. So I love that Braden, as much as he doesn't want to be a part of it, he is still going to show up for his brother in his time of need. Because how many times did Tariq show up for you? Like, they go through their shit, but at the end of the day, they are there for each other. Tariq had his back time and time again. That was his dude. Like, you couldn't tell him otherwise. And I love that Obi, knowing that, he was going to end up dead. He knew they were about to kill. Like, you about to die, bruh. But he had the sense to call Braden and let him know, like, your boy is in trouble and he's going to need your help. And I love that. And I don't know what that's going to mean for Obi. I don't know, because Noma's mad smart. Like, she's not dumb. But I do know that I love that he takes his loyalty very seriously. If you do for him, he will do for you. And I love that about Obi. And I would like to see him more. And I would like to hopefully see this relationship with Tariq more. But I love that he called Braden and had Braden show up. That shit was beautiful.
Yeah, and he even mentioned it. He was like, he said something about you helped him out and he owed you one more to let you. Hey, he told him, hey, they're about to set this man up.
Yep.
You need to come do something. And he definitely did it. So they drive off. Right. And think about it. For this whole season, Braden has been wondering whether or not this game was for him. And he had his out. He could have ignored it and said, Tariq literally made his own grave. But he saved him because he that's his friend. And they drive off. And now we are in a state of war. This is probably even more critical than when Ghost and Tommy were on opposite sides. Like, this is super critical. Like real talk, I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know how they get out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know I have no clue how to get out of it. Let's talk about some open threads, right? That we have for the show right now. First off, my man Rashad Tate, Councilman Tate. There's a great video of him floating around. I think he was on Sherry Shepherd when he talks about how people come up to him and act like he's an actual politician. How he gave a speech at the mayor of Chicago's event. And they would talk. They were receiving it like he was actually Councilman Tate. I think that was like super amazing. But this dude Davis goes to get those charges dropped on Diana. This is part of the way they were trying to like free up the org. And of course, he says he'll do it for a small donation. And Harper overhears him. His fiance, who may not be his fiance anymore because he's still doing shady stuff that she thought that he was doing. She ear hustled the whole situation. So who knows how much of the conversation she heard, but she heard enough to know that he was still up to his shady ways. Even tells a reporter, it's the end of a fairy tale. I don't want you to hear it because this is over. So will Harper hold that against him and dime him out to what he's doing and make him lose the campaign? Will he be able to repair that? What's going to happen? Because he's made so much connections with that underworld. is he in danger? That's an
It's a
open thread
lot.
right there.
That's an open thread. We've also got the open thread of Junior. Sax is,
Mm-hmm.
the note that he sent to Jenny is becoming even more pivotal than we thought. He told her, you need to go and walk away before it gets too bad. Let me do what I do from the grave. And my God, is he doing shit? Like, I thought all the letters was out. I thought they were all out. And then we find out, in comes Paz. And this is something that I had brought up to Jeff it was like in April, actually, a while back, that people were putting together that was Junior, the detective that was working with Blanca and Jenny. He is actually Paz's son, which would make him what's her face? Angela's nephew.
Nephew.
Correct. So to see that happen, and Sax sent him that envelope, I don't know that he sent it to him knowing who he was. I don't think he knew who he was. I'm not sure if he made that connection or if he sent it to him based off of what he knew from what was going on around the time, that Ghost died, and who was getting money, and Paz turning down the money, all that crazy stuff. I don't know what made him send that note. We don't know what is on that drive that he pulled out of the letter either. We're not sure, but we know that Sax sent him something, and I'm almost positive that shit's not going to look good for the organization. So we have so many open things as we leave the show. You'd think they would tie up things, as you're leaving a season. And one thing about Power is, as they tie up loose ends, they are going to give you 10 more. It's wild. That was the one thing that didn't catch me off guard.
Yeah, because it was being reported back in April. I'm not sure if it was in a character description or if it's even and I know our chat would know if it's the same actor that was in season 6. I think it might have been, which is why that's why when people saw him, they were like, "Yo, ain't that such and such?" And you see the names or whatever.
Yep.
So that what could be. My speculation at what's on the thumb drive is probably the footage. Did Sax have footage from Truth about Tariq, or it claimed he had the footage? Remember he saw, or when Tariq admitted it at the gravesite when he had the talk with Ghost at the gravesite.
Yes.
That might be that video where he breaks down and lets him know. Now the other side of that is, Ghost gave that family money. Like, he wouldn't have been able to go to school and do all of that if it wasn't for Ghost. So that may be like a get out of jail free card, literally, for Tariq, right? This is like
or he wants revenge.
This is what I'm thinking. Yeah, it could be that. It could be any. I see in the chat they say it may be like stuff that he stole from Davis. He might have everything that he needs and knows that Junior would be the one to crack the case, or he may have evidence that Tariq's father was somehow involved in his aunt's murder. But I feel like Paz already said some shit to that too.
Yeah,
I don't think it'd be any way Junior could live without knowing that that's a man that possibly got your aunt killed. But that is a great open thread for the season. Of course, Tasha's back in Witsec now. But we have the junior angle. We have
Explain to me why Tasha's in Witsec. Why is Tasha still in Witsec?
Because of Tommy. But I think the way Tariq called it in, it was like there's multiple people looking to kill her, including this dude. So that's why. And then once you're in, you're in. Right? And remember, with Tamika and with all the connections, they was able to get them out. So once you're in, right? So who knows if 2-Bit is gonna pop back up? You know what I'm
2-Bit
saying? Like,
car.
yeah. So who knows if 2-Bit is gonna pop back up? Like, we don't know at this point. So, and then we have Diana and Drew, right? The Castillos are gone, so they really don't have any more enemies on that side. Will Kane and Monet ever find out that them two was behind her setting them up? And then, you know, the biggest thread for me is how the fuck do Tariq and Brayden survive this? They know where Brayden's whole family lives.
Yeah.
And yeah, it might seem like they're too high profile to do some crazy shit, but you know that a lot of them don't be thinking like that, right? Who got hit? It looks like it's Kane, but did anybody else get hit? Monet's in the hospital. Does Monet pull through? But I'm just thinking, like, what happens that could allow him? Tariq can't be in school. Brayden can't be around. It's all out war right now. You know,
yeah.
I could, what do you think about that, Chrissy?
I personally think that Tasha is gonna make it. That's just not. I'm sorry, not Tasha. Monet, but I think Monet is gonna make it. Monet is gonna remember how Diana tried to get her to. Monet is really smart. We can say a lot about who and what she's done, and she's extremely smart. She knows how to read the room. I think she's going to pick up on Diana. I think that her and Tariq are going to find some way to meet. They're going to probably meet at the gravesite the same way they met at the end with Tommy. I think it's going to be something real secretive. And I think that they're going to figure it out, because now at the very least, Tariq knows Diana played him. So we at least got that down. Now Effie played him, but Effie is not the reason why all of this is happening. You really got to put it into play with Diana and with what's the other one's name?
Drew.
See, that's how bad Drew's so throwawayable. We don't even remember his name. Diana crazy. And Drew. So it's like you really got to look at those two, and I think it's going to take Monet and it's going to take Tariq coming together to finally dead this shit. Do I think that Kane is going to be on his mom's side if he survived it? I do hope so, because I know that he's not going to stand for what Diana and Drew did trying to kill their mother. So I just think it's going to take Tariq and Tariq and Monet talking and figuring this shit out together. That's how he gets out of it. That, to me, that's the only way he's going to be able to get out of it.
Yeah. I think one of my theories for the next season is somehow Tariq finds evidence. That ring light that you said Sant broke out, that looms large to me. I wouldn't be surprised if they send evidence that Diana went over there to Monet to dressed as Monet to hand off the letter, and Monet finds out, and then it's like, okay, you set the series of events in order. Like, what the hell? Because, you know, like, why would you be dressed with me? Even if he thought, because what they'll flip is he'll probably think, yeah, he talked about I was trying to kill his mother. Maybe he tried to took me out. Maybe that'll be it. But I don't know. It's very interesting, to say the least. All right, we're gonna get to your before we close out. We're gonna get to y'all super chats that y'all put in. Thank you so much for sending it off. If y'all have any super chat us up, if you have any theories for the end of the season, and I'll definitely get them on here. So let me get to the rest of them right now. First off, Wandering Sage. Oh, and the Tejada family's gotta go. All of them. Yeah, bro. Yeah, they earned that. And I think I don't know if all the Tejadas make it through the end of season 4. I don't know how. I don't know if all of them make it. I don't know if all of them make it.
I hope Kane survived.
Have your wish.
I like Kane. I hope Kane survived. I mean, his little banter is my favorite. Honestly, you got to have that in the show. And the way that he clowns everybody, I love it. But it didn't look good for him. It didn't look good.
And can we also talk about, the fashion on this show? There's a Power Fashion IG. Between them and Succession, you try to dress like them, you gonna be broke. Like, at this point, I'm like, damn, do I gotta take out a loan to look like What are these? Like they have the best fashion. The Power Ghost cast has some of the best fashion, and really, Raising Kanan for their era style clothing that they
Raising
wear.
Kanan
That
is
shit is
good.
clean. But yo,
Yeah.
Power Ghost, they be having that shit on a weekly basis. Like I'm talking about, it looks fly, it looks stylish, it looks contemporary, it looks timeless, and it is paper. Like I think it was a Louis jacket, a black Louis jacket that Kane had on with the pockets when he went up to the school to talk to Diana.
Oh yeah.
That jacket is almost $10,000.
Okay.
Yo, I randomly looked up a couple of the fits, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna need a trust fund to dress like this. Like they be looking fly. Oh no, you put it in Western Holdings, it is slow for that. But yeah, I have to say they are one of the best dressed cast, if not the best dressed cast in the history of TV. Like for luxury, the way they rock the luxury, like it's like streetwear, luxury wear.
Tariq
They
too.
always look fresh. Yeah,
Them
I'm
sweaters
definitely the
Tariq be
entire
wearing?
class.
I'm like,
Everybody. Everybody.
damn.
Monet had like a
Rashandra will
$5.
be dressed up.
Yeah. Monet had like a $5,000 fit on when she mushed Drew. Like it's different. Like it's really different.
She could teach a class in mushing, because if there's one thing that bitch did, it was the mush. I wonder how many takes that took, because Lord, she put all of her might in that mush. But she's always dressed down too, because them boots. Monet be dressed down too. Don't sleep on it.
No, that's why I said the whole cast. You tell me not to sleep. I'm woke. I'm a very awake. All right.
Drip down.
Let's go. I'm a Toxic Key. I'm gonna run off a couple of yours. Thank you so much. It would have worked if Tariq remembers Tasha's advice, and then he follows that up with Tariq would have been working with Tate to be smarter. Yeah, I do think he probably lied to Tate one too many times.
Yeah, Tate got tired of that shit.
And at that point, like, it's only so many donations before Tate is like, yo, I gotta go into business for myself. So yeah, Toxic Key. I definitely agree with that. Love Jones, thank you so much. Nobody did any research. RSJ or Reek's trustee. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. RSJ ain't off the hook either.
His ass is out of the country. He is gone. He's like, you not about to see me for this shit. All right.
My man washed his hands and said, get me my money when y'all got it. Just let me know. Straight up. And finally,
I don't want nothing to do with
facts. Finally, from Toxic Key, Tariq threw the small joker when played the big one. I think we talk about Noma and that entire warehouse was the big joker, and Tariq came in there with the small joker. Like nobody else got the big joker. I think I saw it played already. That shit did not play until the end. Low key, Brayden had the big joker saving him.
Absolutely.
Low key.
Actually, Obi had the big joker. Played them all, motherfuckers.
Highest of keys. Highest of keys, for sure. So yeah, definitely, man, what an episode. All right, Jacoby, thank you so much. All the characters have their issues. Tariq has done a lot for his street fam, and they portrayed him in some way. Yeah, I still contend that with all of his mistakes throughout the series that culminated in that moment, Drew setting him up was nasty. And that's where we got to the game is the game. But that was nasty. Like, he at one point has tried to help everybody, tried to avoid his fate. Right? And, you know, Kane could take or leave it. Effie, he kind of earned with the way he treated her towards it. And although he was right, he could have did it a different way if the game is truly the game. And I think that's where he thought he had too much control over the things that he did not have control over. Yeah. He did not have control over those reactions or a lot of other stuff. So that's where he calculated wrong. And that's where he ain't smart as ghosts. It just is what it is.
But I do want to see him. I want to see Kane's enough. It's enough with going after Tariq. Like, if you find out the truth this season, like, please just stop. Like, let it go. It's enough. I don't think you're gonna get your wish, because I think season 4 that man gonna be on Rampage looking for Mr. Reek. That man even lost his car. He lost his new Porsche. Had to give his Porsche to pin, and now he's driving around in a tap in a dollar cab and whatnot. Tap. He's in a tap. HFG, thank you so much. Monet is gonna be mad when she learned the truth. I'm cool with Drew and Diana not making it. It's been fun watching you two recap book 2 this season. Thank you so much, HFG. It's been fun recapping it with y'all the best community for Power. So we having fun, man. Like, this was an awesome season. And it was. When Monet finds out, because she gotta find out,
When she find out,
when she does.
you think she wasn't a mom before?
Mm.
Bruh, they'll have to call whatever the 3-letter orc is for her, the way she's gonna terrorize them
It's gonna
kids.
be bad. It's gonna be bad.
Diane, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Elisa, Marissa, and Cash coming to save the day. Their characters are still open. All right. Diane, you got jokes. If I see Cash, I'm going to be screaming.
Cash better, his ass better be in school somewhere. Just let it go. Let it go. Like, if the only way I see him showing up would be with Tommy. With that
and Force.
Yeah, it wouldn't be in this one. But who is Elisa Marissa? Who that?
Proctor's daughter.
Oh, y'all wildin' with that. Come on. Her and her little chain. Leave that girl alone. Leave her alone.
Proctor's daughter definitely got out the hood. She ain't trying to hear none of that. But that's Diana's jokes. All right. And Jacoby, thank you so much. I'm glad Tariq went through what he did and he will come back stronger. Tariq was lacking because he was focused on school. Yeah. You know what? Yes, I do think I don't think that's the only reason. I think once he got so far deep into the org that he had to do so many different things in order to keep it sustainable, I think he got clouded by his own power, to lack of a better term. Like, I think he was so good because remember, this is the kid who had the chessboard. And he was thinking in those moves, and there was chess pieces throughout all the seasons of Power before, because that's how he plays his game. He feels like he can see the game 5-7 steps ahead, and I think he became like one of those grandmasters who can see the board so clearly that they stop operating in the moment and they just start operating like an algorithm. Like, okay, he played this, I can execute this strategy without thinking, and I'll win a majority of the time. But if he was analyzing what was in front of him and really tried the human element instead of trying to be cutthroat, sometimes the game is the game, and sometimes you have to play a different game in order to win that game, right? So, yeah, I do think it may be a small contributing factor, but he was balancing too until the mecha shit started.
It was bad. He needed to have his fall from grace. You know, Tariq can't always win in the end. So it's time for him to understand everything that all the decisions that he's made coming to fruition right now. Like, it has to happen. Otherwise the show becomes ridiculous. Like, you can't always escape. Just like when Ghost went to jail and we was like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't always win. Like, it's just not how it works. So yeah, to me, it's now all about how can you get out of it? Like, how can you come back? And because now you're in what Tommy said, you got to choose your lane. You either going to be a scholar or you're going to be a drug dealer. And now he doesn't have a choice. He is going to be, a gangster, because you can't, like you said, you can't go back to school. Like, they're coming for you. No one's coming for you.
It's a wrap. Yep, for sure. All right. Before we get out of here, Chrissy, what'd you think about the season overall?
Great season, man. This honestly is one of the best seasons of the Power universe to me. Every episode was just on. The writers did a great job. The acting was way better. I think, like you said, time and time again, they've found their stride. They understand the mission. They all are together now as a team. Like, you know how it takes a while for a cast to, like, you see them hanging out a lot outside of the show. Like, they truly are a family, and it shows on screen. The show is just great, man. They really killed it. I honestly, this was the best season of a Power show to me. It was just on. It was on the entire season. I'm really happy with it. What about you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this season. Like, I feel like in areas where they would have dragged out storylines, they didn't. They got right to it. We moved quick through these 10 episodes, and they used enough space in order to tell a complete story. In other seasons, like prior to it, I feel like they would have like the Tommy and Tasha thing would have been a crutch more so than additive to the story. They still feel like they're secondary to Ghost, right? To like Tariq and his new cast of characters. And they added elements from the past in the best way possible to show you that in this part of Power, it's still a continuing story, but you get hints of where the characters were before. Like even to the point where if you only watched Ghost and never really watched Power, I feel like this season you wouldn't have needed to know anything because they would have brought you up to speed. Yeah. I think it was executed well. I think, Power fans will have jokes on the writing and plot holes and all of that throughout the course of the season. I really think, objectively, this was one of the best written seasons, best directed seasons of Power, most coherent season of Ghost, where things made sense. And anything that didn't make sense this season was clarified.
Yeah.
Like I had a bunch of smoke for all the letters and how did people know, and we were thinking about Tommy's dead in New York. They addressed everything, and I nothing is perfect, but I feel like this was the most coherent season that they've had, and they're going into it. For my money, I still love Raising Kanan the most.
Yeah.
That's still like my peak, but I think this one, to me, Ghost season 3 is the season that Power fans talk about and get old Power fans who may not want it to deal with, may not want it to give Ghost a chance. It's like, yo, get on this now. It's fire. Trust me, y'all gotta be watching.
But we're on season 3 of this too, and so I love it, man. I think that the Stars has something special with this. I just love watching the show, and I agree with you that Raising Kanan, I guess for me, I don't look at that as the Power universe so much because they are their own entity in my eyes. Right. So for me, when I'm talking about like out of Power in book 2, this was my favorite. Like this was such a good season, man. Like you can't, unless you really want to nitpick, there was nothing that is left on the table that it was so drastic that pissed you off. You know what I'm saying? Like the show just tied up every loose end. They even brought Tasha back. When Tommy came back and you hear that engine, it's the little things like that, that just get you so excited for these shows, for these episodes. They just do it well. They've just found their stride, and I'm really excited to see how they continue it after this. Yeah. I'm excited.
For sure. I am. I really am. I think this is one that like Power fans should be proud of it, and it's really dope. I thought this season was really like I've seen less and less complaining about it and complaining about stuff like that. I see folks talking about it in the chat also about the writer's strike and how that affects season 4. I don't know where they're at in production. Like, I don't know if they've...
Jaleel knows.
Jaleel, I'm not going to ask you.
Jaleel knows. Jaleel said... What did Jaleel say? I saw it earlier. He put Lakiba, he told her about it because she was like, I think this is going to be a problem. And Jaleel said, no, they're already filming. So,
all right.
Apparently they can film whatever episodes are already written.
Yeah, I hear that and all, but when you... So writers do more than just write episodes and set it and forget it. You also have writers on site and writers on set that can be a part of the show. And if something feels off, maybe you wrote it and then when you see it in practice, it doesn't look right. They can adjust on the fly. You aren't going to get that while the writers are still on strike. So I'm hoping that once all the writers get their bread and they get paid. 2, they can dead this strike and get the money that they deserve and get back as soon as possible. And 3, that if the shows that are going to get affected, it's a small price to pay for people getting fair and equitable wages. But having said that, with the way stars be playing in their faces for posting shows, I feel like they have some time to chill before before that season filming. So hopefully it won't be affected. He said Jaleel definitely knows because they talk about it on The Crew Has It. Yeah. So, but you know what?
Jaleel's talking about himself in third person.
Yeah. He's the Rock. He's the Rock now. Apparently, he's the Rock. So here's another thing that we didn't consider. This season 3 was supposed to been air. So I think they might have got a lot of the season filmed before the writer's strike.
Yeah. So
depending on how they want it to end, that's something that's going to be another consideration and whatnot. So we'll see. But definitely shout out to the writers. Get all y'all bread, y'all. Get all y'all bread and make that happen. But either way, this is a phenomenal season. This was really a phenomenal season, and I do think once again it's one that Power fans are gonna love and dig. Like I have not seen a negative reaction to the season 3 finale online, in recaps, amongst friends. Like nobody's saying anything other than that finale was pressure. That finale was
ultimate game of chess.
Sure. Ultimate game of chess. So, with that being said, hold on. Yeah, look. But listen, he got to put that on himself. I've already given bail. I'm not going to allow him to recriminate himself, right? But that does it for our recap of Book 2 Ghost, Season 3 in the books. I think it's the best season of Ghost that they've had. I think they restored the feeling. Season 2 and Season 3 of these episodes of these series usually are the ones that are like really popping, and I thought this one was really good. Next up is Force in September. I believe September 1st. Force is up. Wow. So that's where we'll be back. And as always, you know what? Y'all in our community, y'all that listen to our podcast that subscribe to the YouTube and do all of that. I will tell y'all, I know y'all be asking throughout like our hiatuses because we line up with the shows or what's up content, other content y'all gonna do. Y'all want these actors on, hit them up. Tell them to come on Power After Hours. Send them the link, send them whatever. Publicists, send that to them too. Like we be putting the pressure on them, but sometimes if we don't make it happen ourselves, it don't happen. Yeah. So maybe if our fans tell them that they should be on this show, maybe they'll do that. So maybe you'll hear more. But I definitely want to get more interviews and stuff with y'all locked in and stuff like that. Do more cool stuff. You know how we could do that? Y'all tap in to our YouTube channel, Power After Hours on YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Everywhere where you get podcasts, Instagram, Twitter, at Power After Hours. You lock in with us there and we got you. Chrissy, where can they find you on social?
You can find me everywhere at Chrissy B. Davis. What about you, Jeff?
Jeff J says, all social media. You already know the vibes. We locked in and we're ready to go. Chat, we definitely gonna miss y'all on the hiatus. Y'all have a fantastic summer. We're going to be back tapped in on September 1st. Chat gang, replay gang. We are here with y'all. That does it for us. Book 2 Ghosts, Season 3 in the books. We're locked in. Ready to go, y'all. So I'm Jeff. That's Chrissy. Y'all enjoy y'all summer. We'll see you for Force.
Peace.